Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new edition of News You Can Use. I'm your host, Thera Martin, and glad to be with you once again. Today on the program, let me tell you something. You're going to learn some history. You're going to learn some history about the Paul Robeson House and Museum. We will be joined by Azare Gary. She's the interim executive director of the Paul Robeson House and Museum. And then, when we turn the page a little bit later on in the program, we're going to shine the spotlight on Alana Robinson. She is the newly crowned Miss Black Pennsylvania 2026, and she will join us right here on News You Can Use. Stay with us. We'll be back with our first guest, beautiful Azare, in just a moment. Glad to be here, Thera Martin, with you on this edition of News You Can Use.
Very much for having me.
Wow.
Good to see you.
It is don't want to see you, but you didn't say that. You said you can use Rebooted. I'm Thera Martin, and I am glad to be back at LaSalle TV. We're back now and ready to get this show really started. Azare Gary, thank you, soror of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, for joining me on this edition of News You Can Use.
Thank you, Thera. It's so great to be here and to be your guest and to talk all things Paul Robeson and the West Philadelphia Cultural Alliance.
Yes, yes, yes. Now, by the time people see this program, you will already have had your grand reopening for the Paul Robeson House. But I understand you all did some work over the last, 8 months or so to upgrade the annex to the house and to the museum itself.
Yes, we did. We were the recipient of the Andrew W. Mellon Foundation, the Humanities in Place grant. That was a grant that was awarded in the amount of $1 million between the West Philadelphia Cultural Alliance and the Paul Robeson House in Princeton over the course of two years. So we received it in 2023. And we started our renovation project last summer of 2024. Now, we call this the phases or iteration of the properties. As you know, these buildings have been, they were built in the 1920s, so they're old buildings. They take a lot of upkeep. So we are so grateful for foundations and partnerships and sponsors and grants that help us keep these properties up to date. And we're so happy that we had these renovations. And now we are able to share this space with the public again.
Well, the Paul Robeson House and Museum, they're like diamonds, two diamonds sitting right next to each other in the heart of West Philadelphia, in the heart of University City area. And something that we love, a lot of people I know, when you say Paul Robeson House, their antennas go right up. They're familiar. They know about it. They love Paul Robeson House.
Yeah.
But for those who might not know history so well, can you give us a little bit of the history, the rich history of what that house stands for, what it means?
Yes, so the Paul Robeson House and Museum is actually the home of his sister Marian Forsyth. But let me just take a little step back and explain the history of how we got to the Paul Robeson House and Museum. So the West Philadelphia Cultural Alliance, which was founded in 1984 by Frances P. Alston, she wanted to bring arts and culture to West Philly. She wanted to have artists, have a place where they can be developed. And when she learned that the Paul Robeson House and Museum was empty, she said, hey, it was a community effort, but she said, hey, we need to utilize this space for some good. So in 1994, the Paul Robeson House and Museum became what it is today, the museum. And so we're so happy that both the West Philadelphia Cultural Alliance and the mission and legacy and life of Paul Robeson is being lived out today. So a little bit about who Paul Robeson, the man, was. He was born in 1898. He was born in Princeton, New Jersey. His father was formerly enslaved. His mother, her family was in Pennsylvania. And he was a Renaissance man. He was an athlete. He was an actor. He went to Rutgers University. He was a lawyer. He went to Columbia University for law school. So he was all out, all American, but he really believed in activism. He was a humanitarian. And this is what we sort of, when people ask, why is he so important now? What message do we have for the young people? Is that he was a true man, a true Renaissance man who believed in social justice, who believed in global welfare, and for people to just, be treated fairly and equally. Yes.
He put his whole career on the line, basically, when he started speaking up and speaking out about what's right and what's wrong in America. And he
Right.
was even labeled a communist before
Yeah.
he passed away.
He was labeled a communist because he believed that much in equality. He believed that much in social justice. During his time in 1958, his passport was actually confiscated. And during the time, he and his wife made a lot of money by traveling internationally. So they lost a lot of being able to take care of themselves because of how he was per- uh, viewed in the public eye, but just because he spoke out against racism in America and, injustices across the world, he was labeled, unfortunately, a communist. Yes.
Well, I think of people like Vernoka Michaels, who, when she talks about the fact that she grew up around Paul Robeson, like it was nothing to her to be in the house that you're sitting in right now, the House of
Right.
Museum at 49th and Walnut Street, right on that corner there. She would
Right.
be there all the time as a little girl growing up, sitting at the knee of Paul Robeson and Ossie Davis and Ruby Dee and all kinds of other famous people, because that's the kind of people that Paul Robeson ran with, famous
Right.
people.
Right. I'm sitting, if you look behind me, I'm actually sitting in the annex right now, the 4949 side, which is the house right next to the museum. And
Mhm.
on this wall back behind me, we have Francis P. Alston and we have Vernerka Michael, who's the legendary owner of the Blue Horizon. And she was the adopted niece of Paul Robeson. So she grew up knowing him. Her family grew up around him. And she has a wealth of knowledge and information regarding his life and what was it like to be able to see this hero during her time. So that's really impactful. And she's also a current board member right now with the organization. So it's really something special to have a connection between someone who knew Paul Robeson personally to share these stories with the visitors who come here and someone who just, has a information on her own about, what was it like to live during a time when so much transition was happening in this
Mhm.
country.
Okay, and so now as you go forward with the museum and the house, some things have changed a little bit. Well, first of all, it's even more beautiful than it was before because of the renovations that you all did over the last 8 months. There's a fee now to come to the Paul Robeson House. Let's talk about the fee. Let's talk about the schedule because we want people to know.
Yes, we do. We host tours between every week, Wednesday through Saturday from 11 to 4. There's a fee for an adult admission, which is $12, and there's a fee for the youth admission. Any 12 and under is $6. So we want visitors to come. We want, bring your students. If you're a teacher, if you're an educator, bring your students. If you're a scholar or a researcher, or if you just have a general interest in museum knowledge about Paul Robeson or in West Philadelphia in general, just come visit us. Happy to
Okay.
host you.
And then you had docents. Now, I didn't even know what the word docent meant until I guess about 10 years ago, the Underground Railroad House at the Belmont Mansion. That's when I first heard the word docent, and I was like, what's that mean? And that's when I learned what it meant. So you have opportunities for people to train, to learn the history, to know how to give tours around the house. That's what a docent is. Somebody gives a tour, right?
Yes, yes. So we have our volunteer docents. We also we're going to start hosting monthly volunteer docent training sessions. So please be on the lookout for that information. We had one that passed recently. We also have a youth docent training program. We partner with the Netter Center at the University of Pennsylvania, and we train high school students primarily at the Paul Robeson High School to become docents. They take a year-long training session and they give about 2 to 3 tours a year. And our hope is to also grow that program so that we can have more students come learn about the history and become a volunteer docent to be able to give tours to the home. Yeah.
Now, let me see if I can say this one right. An in-house artist, resident in-house. How do you say that? You have one of those.
We had an artist in residence. So we've had an artist in residence program previously, but we also we are this, let's just say the Paul Robeson House and Museum and the West Philadelphia Cultural Alliance, we thrive on partnerships with programs and community members. So let's just say we're very, very excited that we partnered with the Sachs Program for Innovation Arts at the University of Pennsylvania to work on a Sachs William Penn Foundation grant. Through that grant, we had a arts council, and we were able to grant about 34 grantees, artists and organizations funding for their arts and organize in their to do their work. As a
Mhm.
part of that, we hosted our inaugural artists and residents through that program, and that was Shanina Diana, and she spent the summer with us on some magnificent programs. So that was truly exciting. Yes, yes, yes.
Very good, very good. And with the expansion that has happened, that means that you all have more office space now at the
Yes.
Robeson House Annex building, and it also means you have more space for archiving important materials.
Yes, so through a partnership or through funding through the Independence Public Media Foundation, the IPMF grant, we are in an archival process and have an archival project. We have an actual room upstairs. So when you come visit us, you'll see that we have an archival room. We have a team of archivists who are working to archive the history of West Philadelphia Cultural Alliance, the history of the founder, Francis P. Alston, and the history of Paul Robeson himself. So yes, it's really exciting.
Okay. And I would be remiss if I did not get you to talk about the fact that the Paul Robeson House Annex, a portion of it can be rented out for individuals who have events that maybe it's, 50 people, 80 people, up to 150 people.
About 100 people can fit comfortably through both spaces, and we also have a back patio as well. So yes,
Which
we
is
are
beautiful.
open for you to host your event here, rent the space out. We've had a couple people rent spaces. We had a law school graduation celebration. We've had a food narrative event. We yes, come visit us if you want to host your next event here. Please let us know how we could accommodate you. Yes.
That sounds so good. So give us a phone number, give us the website for the Paul Robeson House, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so the website is paulrobesonhouse.org if you want to contact us. You can also email us at wphlca@gmail.com, and you can give us a call at 215-747-4675.
Say that golden phone number again.
215-747-4675.
Okay. Anything else that you want to share with our viewing audience about the Paul Robeson House and how special it is?
Yeah, I also have to, lots of folks always want shout outs, but we are located in the Walnut Hill community. So
Mhm,
we do partner with the Walnut Hill Community Association for
mhm,
a number of different projects. And so I wanted to make sure folks know about Walnut Hill.
mhm.
And just recognizing some of the folks that we partner with, which is the Netter Center at the University of Pennsylvania, SACS. We've partnered with, we have a Robeson Alliance where we are an entity to connect into ropes and entities from domestically and internationally. And lastly, we just want people to come and and meet us and
Oh,
come to learn about Robeson and the West Philadelphia Cultural Alliance.
absolutely. I think they will be pleasantly surprised for people who've never been before. Absolutely. Come, come, come. It is a great experience.
And I just want to say a little more, like I hope by this time that people would have attended our event. We're very excited to have folks come to see our, space, our ribbon cutting ceremony, and they would have seen that the renaming of our annex. So I'm excited.
A lot of good things happening in West Philadelphia and the Paul Robeson House Museum. That's one of the great things that's happening. Now, your board on the date of the grand reopening, which was on October the 10th. I don't think they announced that day the new name for the annex. And so I guess we can't do it on this show, but soon
Not
and very
not yet.
soon, soon
Soon
and
and
very
very
soon, the
soon.
public will get to know the name of the house that's right next to Paul Robeson House, which we call the Annex Building. It's going to have a name on it before long.
Yes, yes, and we're very excited about that, Thera. So we can't wait to share that with the public.
All right. I can't wait to hear that information. We thank you so much for joining us on this edition of News You Can Use. You brought a wealth of good stuff for us today, and we appreciate you so much. We are excited about the future of the Paul Robeson House and Museum and all the good stuff that you're doing there.
Thank you for having me, Thera. Thank you.
Absolutely. You have a wonderful rest of your day. And to everybody who is checking us out, stay with us because when we come back from this break, oh boy, we've got the newly crowned Miss Black Pennsylvania who will join us. Her name is Alana Robinson, and we're going to hear her story. Stay with us right here at News You Can Use.
Yes, I need help with my daughter.
Kids across America are going to school hungry. Millions of kids every day. But one simple thing can help change all of this for a hungry child in America. Good, healthy food and the energy it brings. With help from caring people across America, No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures. To learn more about ending child hunger in America, go to helpnokidhungry.org today.
And we are back now for our final segment on this edition of News You Can Use. And I am so pleased and proud to be able to introduce to some and present to others the newly crowned Ms. Black Pennsylvania, Alana Robinson. Thank you for joining me on News You Can Use.
Thank you so much for having me, Thera. I'm so happy to be here speaking with you.
Yes, congratulations. Now tell us, when did this crowning happen? When did you win?
On September 17th, I actually announced my title as Miss Black Pennsylvania USA 2026. It was a really exciting process. It involved just a lot of community involvement. I applied online, and I was able, through discussions with nationals, to realize that they crowned me the new Miss Black Pennsylvania.
So when you were a little girl growing up, did you dream of one day entering a beauty pageant, whether that be Miss Black America or Miss America, Miss Teenage USA? Did you dream about that?
Yes, I always looked up to pageant queens, and I always seen it as a pretty far dream until really quite recently when I learned the true meaning behind the pageant, really that it's not just the beauty, but it's also the scholarship behind it and the involvement with the community. And I think that's what helped me truly fall in love with pageantry.
So now, where was the final competition held in Pennsylvania?
Well, it actually wasn't an in-person competition. It was an application process through online. So I went through interviews and an application process, just talking about my involvement and what I have done in my community. And that was the process.
Wow. Talk about that a little bit. Some of the involvement that you've had with Philadelphia, because you're Philadelphian.
Yes, yes. Well, over the past few years, I've volunteered weekly with the Police Athletic League. I help students with homework help. Sometimes I supervise free play, as well as volunteer with a program through them called Positive Image. And it's a program for young girls just to help and mentor them and help them just continue to have a positive image on themselves and help inspire and empower them.
Now, what time of year do you have to start applying when you want to be in a pageant such as the Miss Black Pennsylvania pageant? Is there a particular time of year that's better than?
Yes, there is a good time. So around August is when you would want to have your application already in and submitted. Around next August is when I will be competing for Miss Black USA in person, and that will also be televised as well.
Where is that going to be? Do you know yet?
Yes, in the District of Columbia.
All right, Washington, D.C.
Yes.
Okay, that's going to be really good and very exciting. So, what is your family saying about all of this? I know they're cheering you on, of course.
Oh, my family is quite excited. I just had to stop my pop-up last night at a cookout from running around with my picture on his screen, like Miss Black Pennsylvania is here. They're very excited. My family, I mean, they're what keeps me going. They are my support system. I come from a very close-knit family. So they've been with me every step of the way through the application process, through sometimes helping me and taking me to places where I'm volunteering. They have always just been a part. So very grateful for that.
Okay. So you talked a little bit about that. When you first applied, you were thinking it was about just the beauty part, but it's so much more to it than just the beauty part. So talk to us about that for a moment, if you would.
Well, yeah, so beauty is definitely a portion of it, and it's just about the way you represent yourself. But deeper than that, you talk about your scholarship. You cannot apply to be Miss Black Pennsylvania or any other state in the organization without your own community service initiative. You have to be connecting with your community. It's about more than just beauty, but the power of education and promoting inclusivity. So
I love it. So now, over your reign, what all are you expected to do? Are you expected to go to community events all the time, every weekend? Are they going to wear you out or what? In between your studies, how do you balance it all?
Yes, well, you are definitely expected to go to community events and continue to push your community service initiative.
Mhm.
So, personally, my community service initiative is about teaching the youth about how they can cultivate their own civic identity. So people hear the term civic identity and they think it has a lot to do with just voting, but it's deeper than that. It's about engaging with the communities on several levels and being the change that you want to see. So
Hmm.
personally, through that, I've been going and speaking with kids at the Police Athletic League, and also am looking forward to speaking at schools in the Philadelphia School District as well.
You just really caught my attention. I write a weekly column for a community newspaper, the Scoop USA newspaper, and one of my columns is all about civics. And so I'm always looking for a different angle on the civic story. And yes, I do talk a lot about get out and register to vote, make sure you vote on election day, all of that. I talk about who the candidates are and what have you. But there's other parts and other components to civics. So I'm gonna plug back into you to see what kind of you can help me get my little columns together for the Scoop. Maybe you can give me some ideas since you're talking about civics as more than just voting, because it is more than just voting.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah, it's definitely a very multifaceted topic. And then especially for students and for kids, we talk a lot about voting about when you're turning 18, but when it's about when students, they can make that change in their community. They can volunteer within their community. They can do peer mentoring. There's so many different ways for students to engage with their school, with their city, with their state. And
Yeah.
so I'm just about promoting that. And that also helps students build confidence that will come with them through all parts of their life. So
Mm. Now, I know there's a lot of rules probably attached to being a pageant queen. And so you want to, of course, keep yourself in a positive light and keep the pageant organizer, the pageant organization in a positive light as well. So I guess, Alana Robinson, you just can't hang out and party like a regular college kid anymore, huh?
I mean, yeah, I guess not, but partying is not something that I'm pretty much doing all the
Yes.
time. I
Yeah.
think the Miss Black USA organization does a good job of choosing queens where the title isn't something that's really hard to take on because it's something that we have been carrying ourselves in since before we were even presented the title.
Mhm. Is the crown anywhere around? I'm looking for the crown. Where's the crown?
Yes.
Let me see
So
that
I
beautiful
actually have
crown.
the clown right here.
Beautiful.
Yes, yes. On the Zoom call, it unfortunately disappears.
Oh yeah, it disappears.
But
But
I
it's
have it here.
beautiful. It
Thank
is
you so
beautiful.
much. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. And it's something that you just hold and you wear with pride. And so
Mhm.
I'm very excited to be Miss Black Pennsylvania USA 2026.
So your reign is for the next 12 months, and
Yes.
then a new pageant queen will be selected. And you think as they go forward, they're going to continue to do more of it virtually than in person, as far as you
The
know?
Miss Black USA organization is growing. And so, I mean, it's just on a pageant by pageant basis. I do
Mhm,
think
mhm.
it maybe will eventually grow to be an in-person pageant, but for now it is online.
Okay. What are you studying at Drexel University?
Yeah, so I major in political science and I minor in communications and law.
Ah, you have my heart. You have my heart for
Yeah.
sure. Political science, does that mean you might have an interest in getting into public office, political office one day?
I'm very interested in working with the people in office to
Mhm,
help them reach their goals and just continue to further like investing in my community.
mhm,
I'm not very interested in holding office, but
mhm,
definitely working closely with those people. Just recently, this past summer, I had the privilege of interning in Vincent Hughes'
mhm,
office.
mhm.
And so that was just a great opportunity to just continue to inspire that want to be alongside these change makers.
Fantastic. That is so good. I'm glad to hear that as well. And Senator Vincent Hughes is one of my favorite elected officials. We are members at the same church, Mount Carmel Baptist Church in West Philadelphia. So I give three cheers out for Senator Hughes all the time. I think that you are going to do a great job as the reigning Ms. Black Pennsylvania for our state, representing us very, very well. And again, like you already acknowledged, your family is so excited for you. Now, what's it like being on campus? Like, do people on campus know who you are?
Yeah, so like some of my friends, and yeah, some people do know, and everybody has told me congratulations, which I really appreciate. But definitely being on campus, I'm just stepping out of being Miss Black Pennsylvania and just stepping into such an inspiring environment, just of just knowledge. And we're not really talking about things of like like where we are, but just talking about where we want to go, where we're continuing to doing. While being on campus, I'm more talking about my reign, I want my reign to be as Miss Black USA. So
Mhm. Mhm.
just continuing to look forward.
Yes, 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 yes. Well, I hear that, and we are so excited again for you and your achievements, and wishing you well. I'm going to be following your moves as you get through this next 12 months and cheering you on. I definitely want to write about you in the Scoop newspaper as well, because I want your picture plastered. I'm like Pop Pop. Want your picture everywhere. Everybody want everybody to know that Alana Robinson, she is the reigning Miss Black Pennsylvania. Very, very proud indeed. Final thoughts that you might share with little girls who are watching this program right now and they're dreaming big. They want to be a queen one day too. What would you say to them?
I would just tell them to continue being themselves. The best way to get the crown on your head is to walk like you have it on your head already.
Mm.
You are a queen with or without the crown. This title does give you a chance to further your message, but you are the message. And so, what's most important is to focus on developing yourself and just growing into the person you want to be.
I know that's right. I thank you again and again for just joining me, for being willing to come on with me. I want to thank Linda Fields, because Linda Fields is a longtime friend of mine and a supporter of things I do. I try to be supportive of things that she does. And she's the one that texted me, I guess about a week and a half ago, said, I know Miss Black Pennsylvania. There's a new Miss Black Pennsylvania, and I know her, and I need you to get her on your show. And I'm so glad that she called me to do just that and that you agreed to come
I'm
on, even though
so
you didn't know
grateful.
me.
Yes, I'm so grateful to Miss Linda. She is just the best, the most kind-hearted person.
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
I'm really grateful for her for introducing us and to you for having me.
Great.
And yes, thank you so
Next,
much.
I want to see you on all of the networks. And so we're going to look to see how that happens. And we're believing that it will happen because this is an honor and it's something that all of Pennsylvania should know about. We want you to meet the governor, the lieutenant governor, and all the elected officials and other folks that make things, positive things happen across this great state of ours. So congratulations again and again, Alana Robinson. Thank you for joining me today on the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right now, and as we close out on this edition of News You Can Use, I certainly want to remind people that the month of October, well, it's many things. It's known for many things, but one of the things that I first always connected the month of October with was breast cancer awareness. And a dear friend of mine who used to be a guest on this show, her name was Anita T. Connor, and her daughter were both guests on my show. They started a nonprofit called Praise is the Cure. And for years, every year during the month of October, the first weekend in October, they would do a Praise is the Cure conference up at the Mount Airy Church of God in Christ. Well, I am so sad to say that Anita T. Connor has transitioned now. She's passed away. Her daughter passed away about a year before her, both of them from breast cancer. And both of them had had full mastectomy, and we thought they were okay, and they were okay. They were fine. You're supposed to still be here, right? But the cancer came back. So, ladies, men who watch this show also, get a mammogram. That's all I can tell you. Get your annual mammograms. And we used to believe that, oh, you didn't need a mammogram until you were 40. Well, now medical experts are saying that you can get mammograms even before the age of 40, because there are people who are getting breast cancer, being diagnosed with breast cancer in their 20s and 30s. And so we just want everybody to be around for a long, long time to come. So make for sure you get your mammograms. Ladies, in particular, I'm talking to the ladies, but men can get breast cancer too, whether you knew it or not. So you need to get your mammograms as well. I want to thank our guests again for being with us today. Azare Gary, the interim executive director of the Paul Robeson House. She was my first guest today. And then we have Ms. Black Pennsylvania, Alana Robinson, who just was recently crowned in September of this year. We're so proud of you. Thank you for being with us on this edition of News You Can Use. We appreciate you. And to everybody else out there who's viewing and listening and watching what we're doing, I just simply want to say, remember, life is so very fragile. Handle it with prayer and have a good day. Bye-bye.